So should we get into the final round, the final game of the first week of the finals, Paul? And let's hope that the graphic works on this one, and we've got it all right. I did spend so long doing it, but clearly I missed it. So we've got the Brisbane Lions.
Nailed it.
There we go. Brisbane Lions versus Port Adelaide. Brisbane by 48 points. 19-9, 123 to 11-9, 75. Absolute domination, really. All pretty much after half time. Joey Danaher, incredible game from him. Just didn't over celebrate. Got his 5 goals won. Did what he needed to do. Cameron Rayner was so dynamic. He was fantastic to watch. He was great to watch. Fletcher, fantastic son of. He was great as well. Young fella, really bobbed up with 3 goals there and just was really damaging all over the ground. A man I absolutely love, Hugh McCluggage, since he was, I don't remember he was being drafted and they were talking about him going early and he was like, McCluggage. I just love the way he's come on in the last few years. He's no nonsense, just doesn't muck around, just gets the job done. Dunkley, great pickup from them during the off-season, just you. And Wilmot as well with the 20 touches, Dunkley with the 21. On the other side of the coin, oh my Lord, Ollie Lord, future cat, can we say that?
Yeah, we'll claim him.
4 goals won. Didn't he look an impressive thing? I can't wait to get him down at the category. It won't happen, but I imagine they'll throw everything at him to keep him there.
Why not? Give it a crack.
Young fella proven in finals. They're hard to come by. 2 goals, 2 for Sam Pepper. Seems like a bloke that's built for finals. You wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley. And 2 goals, 1 from Marshall, who was a bit wayward with his kicking, unfortunately. He had a bit like Bailey Fritsch, really. He's a dead-eye dick. Normally, he just couldn't hit it.
Early on.
Yeah, and in the disposals, Zachary Butters with the 29, Connor Rosey with the 28. The normal accumulators, but just didn't really seem to have any impact on the game, unfortunately.
Oh, look, we'll massive shout out, and I guess we may or may not touch on it through the notes, but Connor Rosey with one of the best goals of the season.
It wasn't
cranked around one leg, one step, roosted it from 55 plus, and made an absolute mockery of everyone in that particular moment. That was unreal, that goal.
It's just terrific. He's a gunner. My wife wants to get him at Geelong. I don't think that'll be a possibility, but maybe the last couple of years of his career or something like that when we're a basket case, but who knows? Brisbane came into this game, cock a hoop. They're talking about how it's their time. They've been the strugglers, not the strugglers, but they've just missed out.
Close.
So many times. And it's their own fault when they had a grand final up for grabs in 2020 during the COVID era and they've lost to the Catters. What can you do? Almost a gift.
Got blown away by the Catters.
But yes, it's their time. Now was their time, and it was Charlie Cameron's 200th game, so everything was just going right for them, and they were up and about. The crowd was up and about. Good on Queensland for getting behind AFL footy. You could really sense that through the TV that they were into it. But yeah, there wasn't really much. I didn't really write much notes on the first quarter there. Lockie Neal was really quiet in the first quarter.
Very quiet.
It didn't seem to matter too much. The lines were still up and about. I still wasn't sure which way this game was going to go at that point in time, but I was really enjoying the footy, the contest that was on the telly, as opposed to the game earlier in the day. I just felt like that was horrible to watch. And Charlie Cameron was really quiet too. He only had a couple of touches up until half time. I thought, what's going on with him? Is he even one of his stinkers? But and then Port Adelaide started getting on top and hit the front. I'm like, what is happening here? Surely Brisbane's not going to choke it, but that was just a short-term thing. And then the Lions really got it back on track in the second half, thanks mainly to Joe Danaher, who bobbed up in the third quarter with 3 goals there, really tore it apart. And Charlie Cameron woke up and kicked a couple as well. Port came back a little bit, but ultimately you can only do it so many times, really. And then Brisbane kicked away again. And Fletcher, as we talked about earlier, bobbed up with a really nice goal, really important goal there. And then it all just fell apart in the fourth quarter for Port. They subbed the bloke off for strategic reasons, and then seconds later
lost 2 players immediately afterwards.
2 key defenders went down. So who knows what that means for them next week? How they're going to fill those spots? Trent McKenzie, Dylan Williams, we're talking about. But yeah, Brisbane just surged again, and there was no coming back after that, really. I don't know what's going to happen in terms of. I would love to get Francis Evans. I think he's more of a forward though. You'd love to get him back in the side, but I don't think we'll see Sparkle. Sparkle, I don't know about Sparkle, but we'll see. I'd probably
don't like his chances.
Nah, but Francis Evans, he's looked good every time I've seen him, and not that I've seen that many Port games this year. Port Port Adelaide, yeah, unfortunately, they're going to have a second chance up against GWS. And as I said a bit earlier, it's going to be a tough one for them. I don't know how they're going to go. I think if anyone's going to beat Port, GWS could be that team to get it done. Brisbane, I think they're pretty strong favourites to get the job done in a fortnight's time and make a grand final for the first time in 20 years. I think, maybe 19 years. I think they last won it 20 years ago. They played the 2004 final against Port. And just fell short in that one after Port kicked away there. But yeah, like a few other teams, Paul, this round, bad kicking's bad football, and Port unfortunately just couldn't find the target enough. And while they might have, had it kicked a little bit straighter there, they could have put a bit more scoreboard pressure on the Lions and maybe a slightly different story, or given themselves a sniff anyway. But as I said as well, Ollie Lord, oh my goodness me, I love that bloke. I want him. Can we get him? Part of the Radical thing?
It's a weird one. I did not rate him in the slightest. And then he put in that game and I've gone, hang on. Might need to pay attention to this bloke.
Yeah. Surely that's a fair swap. Straight swap for Radical Air, surely.
Yeah, he's got no credits in the bank whatsoever at this point. So
that's exactly right. I think it's pretty reasonable.
Surely they bundle like we give them a Sava and they give us Ollie Lord and a future first round pick. No questions asked.
No, not at all. Now, my votes, just as we round out this review, my votes for this one's pretty obvious. I'm going to give the 3 votes too. I think Joe Danaher was just terrific.
Dirty Mojo.
He did the job. Well done to him. Fantastic. I thought Hugh McCluggage was really good as well. Gave him the 2 votes. And Cam Rayner, maybe I could have given him the 2 votes, but didn't get heaps of it. But when he did, goodness me.
He was absolutely taking the P155 out of the power on numerous occasions.
Yeah. I think he had one shot close to the boundary. If you had to kick that, I'd almost be giving him the 3 votes. He was that impactful on the night. So as we've said, Port Adelaide lost the game. They're up against GWS on Saturday night at Adelaide Oval, and Brisbane will just have to wait and see who they play. They'll be either playing Carlton or Melbourne up against that one, which will bring me. Let's have a look. I'll just bring up my new graphic here. Little matchup of the next round. Yeah, look at that fancy. Oh, look at that's beautiful, isn't it? So Port Adelaide versus Giants, Paul. Who's winning this one in your mind? Early days, but who have you got?
I'm going big sound. I'm all on board the Giants bandwagon at the moment. It's just jump on them. But at the same time, like the Power are vulnerable now. Like they've lost a few key defenders. The form was still a little bit patchy going into the back end of the season, obviously with their loss against us and some other performance that were less than inspiring. They were on a losing streak there for a while. I'm not all about the Power at the moment, and the Giants, the momentum just keeps going. They're going to be afraid of no one at this point. They're winning everywhere they play.
Yep.
So why not?
Why not indeed?
It smells of a why not us sort of situation here.
What about the next game now? Hopefully this graphic. Oh, look at this beautiful graphic. Melbourne versus Carlton. This is going to absolutely tear the town of Melbourne apart on Friday night. It is going to blow the town up. And I hope it is one of those all-timer games, Paul. I think I am actually going to... Poor old Melbourne. I feel like they're going out in straight sets 2 years in a row. Who's your tip for this game, Paul?
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm going for the elimination finalists in both games. So
wow. Oh god, poor old Melbourne. Hey, I don't know if I don't think I'll be going to the footy. I don't think it'd be impossible to get to the Melbourne games anyway. If there was like a GWS or playing something in Melbourne, you might be able to get to one. But I'll be watching it on the telly, I suppose. Both games are of an evening, so plenty of time to do other things through the weekend. Any other Geelong news? I don't think there's been too much. We can probably wrap this show up in a sec, but no other Geelong news apart from the Radical Air stuff. We've
had the Radical Air stuff, which I did a short for on the channel, and other than that, it's been pretty quiet. I'll just double check that there's not something I'm forgetting, but no, it's been mostly pretty quiet on the men's front. Obviously, we've touched on the women's game today, and if people haven't checked out that video, please make sure to go check out our match review there of round 2 for the AFLW girls team. But in terms of the men's, it's been pretty quiet, I think. The Radical Air stuff, and that's about all she wrote.
I've seen something, and it's yet to be confirmed, but it was quite concerning, Paul. I saw a photo of Mark Blitzarves with a hat on the back of a camel. I don't know where he was, but it looked like he didn't have much hair on his head. Yes, he had a hat on. That's why I'm a little bit not sure. I hope he hasn't gone down the path of Cam Guthrie. I'm telling you now.
Where did you see this?
I was on. I think it was a partner of one of the Cats players who had a photo of Blitz, and I'm going to have to send it to you after the show. But
Yeah,
I am. You know me. I've got a thing about hair. It don't cut your hair off. If it's long,
you lose all your powers.
You lose your powers. It's a proven fact. It's science. So keep the hair long, keep it strong. Stage you long, strong. That's what we say, don't we?
Yeah,
mate. It's been another great show, Paul. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in, and thank you for everyone who's watching on the replay as well. It's been fun. We'll be back next week as well to review the 2 semi-finals and obviously the Cats' big win over the North Melbourne when we win against North. I'm already predicting a big win there. So hopefully,
that is a brave call. That is
a brave call.
I know our girls are good, but so are those Roos. So
Cats by 40 in the AFLW. You heard it here now. It's not like trouncing of the ladder leaders at home. We're just going to stamp our authority, and here we come. But it's been a tough couple of weeks, Paul. We'll wrap the show up, but it's hard when we haven't got as much Geelong content to talk about. But I still love AFL finals. And
it's a confusing period for us.
Yeah, and you just don't know what to do. So hopefully, if you're like us, stick with us. There's plenty of footy to talk about at least, and we're here to support you through this tough time. So, Paul, thank you again. We're going to play the outro. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and comment down below. We want to hear your thoughts on the show and what you think, how you think the finals are going to play it, and all that. But until next time, go Cats. We'll see you on the next one. See you, everyone.
See you guys.